My name is Christian Marcellet. I am the Chief Medical Officer at Theratechnologies, and I'm here today to talk to you about the new formulation, Tesamorelin F8, that was just approved by the FDA.
Can you tell us how this new formulation improves upon the previous in terms of efficacy and patient convenience?
Yeah, this is a new formulation. The one thing is that this formulation has similar efficacy or same efficacy and the same safety profile as the prior formulation. The most important thing about this formulation is that in the past, patient had to reconstitute their daily dosage every single day. Then they had to mix the water for injection with the vial that contained the powder with the active substance and the drug product, and it had to be mixed on a daily basis. After that, they had to retrieve the liquid and inject themselves subcutaneously on a daily basis. This new formulation will be much more user-friendly for the patient. It will be one vial per week. Then they will reconstitute, putting the water into the vial with the powder once per week. And after that, they will have to only retrieve 0.17 ml per day to inject themselves subcutaneously. And even this volume of administration is lower. It's half the prior volume of administration, which will be much better for the patient. It's more comfortable for the patient. We also, because of that small volume of administration, we're able to change the needle and the syringe. It's smaller than the one that they used in the past, which will make it even more comfortable for the patient. Then hopefully what will happen with this new formulation is when you have to do different steps like this on a daily basis, at some point there's a bit of fatigue. There's fatigue of reconstituting, there's fatigue of injecting yourself on a daily basis. Then we hope that the patient will be more comfortable, will be easier for them, and will stay longer on therapy, which will be much better for the long-term efficacy of the product.
And that is a huge improvement. But were there any other improvements that have been made to address any of the concerns that were raised by the FDA's CRL last year, maybe regarding the chemistry, manufacturing, or any other risks?
When the FDA asked questions to clarify certain things, we were able to clarify everything that the FDA requested, and that did not have any change on the formulation per se. We just addressed questions that the FDA had. But one additional thing that was done in recent years, the FDA asked that when you submit information for use and when you have a product where you need information for use for a patient, we now have to do what we call human factor studies. Then we have to ensure that we do a test, then we do the instruction for use, we give it to patient, they test it, they do it's really the physical maneuver to reconstitute, inject themselves. And now we have to do the test with those patients. Then we were able to significantly improve the instruction for use. Therefore, we think that when the patient will use the product for the first time, it will be easier for them. They will have a better experience with the product. And hopefully, again, that will help better adherence on the long term. And also that people will stay on drug right from the beginning because it will be easier. That's a very good improvement that was done on this formulation.
Is there anything else that you feel like this formulation is going to better the impact and the treatment of the excess abdominal fat in patients with HIV, and any more long-term benefits that you think that this population will be seeing?
Well, I think that the adherence to treatment for a longer period of time will be a plus for the patients. I do believe, and there's data to prove it, that there are a significant number of people living with HIV that have lipohypertrophy or excess visceral adiposity. And it's very important for those patients to be treated and to be controlled for a long period of time. It's stigmatizing, and it could also lead to other comorbidities to some extent. And it's very important for the patient to stay on treatment for a long period of time. The other thing that I would like to mention is when you do a new formulation like this, we don't need to repeat all of the clinical phase for approval. Then we don't need to do a phase 2 and a phase 3. Then that formulation was approved based on a bioequivalent study that was done versus the initial formulation that was used during the phase 3 program. Then it's a very good way to make those comparisons. They're very equivalent. And overall, that new formulation should change, well, hopefully will help patients to continue taking the treatment for longer.